Hello lovers and haters of Paris. This is a re-upload of the video because the original one got demonetized for reasons unknown to me. And obviously that limits the video's reach because it's not making the same amount of money as a normal video. So essentially the video has been suppressed, shadow banned, hidden from you, whatever you want to call it. The reasons for this demonetization could have been any number of things. Could have been I didn't censor enough gory bits, although I don't see many in the movie. Could have been that YouTube doesn't like the amount of drugs shown in the movie, or the overuse of a certain T-word. I'm not sure. YouTube won't say anything because they're idiots and their ad-friendly guidelines are the vaguest thing ever. So I just censored as many things that I can think of that can possibly trigger their ad-friendly guidelines. Probably ruins the video a bit, but fucking YouTube, go take it up with them. Video time. Welcome to From Paris with Love, where there's one dude called Reese is working as an assistant for the American ambassador in France, but he also working as a low-level government agent, which I'm not sure the ambassador knows about because he low-key seems to be helping him on his missions, but then is surprised that he's a secret agent type dude. But whatever, I say low-level government agent because he's been given the easy pussy baby child's play-like stuff to do, like changing plates on someone's car so they can track them or something. And he's not too pleased about that because he aspires to do more than just that lame shit. He wants to be a super spy level 100 mafia boss spy dude. One day on his way back home, he gets an assignment from his spy boss to secure a listening chip in the foreign minister's office tomorrow in the meeting with the ambassador. Then his hot girlfriend comes home who is suspiciously interested in his job. They perform coitus and next day he's attending this ambassador's meeting with the foreign minister. Tries to stick this given listening device underneath the table with a piece of gum, but it keeps falling. The meeting ends with it on the floor, so he goes up like, "Excuse me, sir, isn't it true that you still have explicit pictures of the girls on Epstein's Island?" "Oh, I'd love to see them." "Why, of course." They leave him alone in the room for a second and he staples the bug to the bottom of the table. And wouldn't that ruin the bug, or is it piercing through non-vital areas of that bug? Also, didn't this fucker ever hear of double-sided tape? What a dumbass. Anyway, he goes home that night and thinks his girlfriend's beating out, but turns out he just got lost in the sauce that she dropped because she took food up to the rooftop to make a romantic dinner for them. Then he gets another call from his boss, the spy boss, not ambassador boss, telling him that this is his shot for the big leagues because he's a man short and needs someone to pick up this guy called Charlie Wax from French Customs right fucking now because he's in a spot of bother and be his partner on this mission, no questions asked. And if he does a good job on this, then he is going to be promoted to field agent or whatever. He's like, aye, captain, and tells his bitch that duty calls. She understands that he has to go do secret stuff, but before he leaves, she proposes to him because she knows he would never do although he wants to because he's too busy, and she can't wait to be his wifey, yada yada yada. She's like, "Promise me you'll never take it off," and he's like, "Yeah, sure," and then goes off to the airport to get Wax, who's a foul-mouthed, bald American retard cussing out French guys. Can you believe people like that exist? I know. And reprehensible. They won't let him into the country with his rattlesnake energy drink because it contains nuclear fission or some shit as an ingredient. They're like, "It will never enter France." Bro, it's like Monster, you cock-sucking French It's deliciosos, try it. Reese's Cups, realizing his promotion hinges on being a good partner to this guy and keeping him happy, slaps a diplomatic mail sticker on the bag which lets it into the country, no questions asked. Later, Wax shows him the real reason he wanted those cans really bad, because some of them contain his favorite personal gun, and Reese is like, "You know, we could have gotten you any gun you wanted." "Yeah, but not this one." "Yes, this one, you fucking bald." I'm pretty sure the world's most powerful country can get whatever personal weapon you want to wherever the fuck you want with no issues, unless you wanted to create drama and shit. Also, there's a continuity error with how he's holding the gun while he's telling him this. Whatever, they go over to a Chinese restaurant to eat. Wax is like, "This food tastes like wet dog ass." Calls over the waiter, starts manhandling him for seemingly no reason, asking him where the blow is. Dude's like, "I don't know," and Reese goes, "Dude, he's just a waiter, let him go." But then the rest of the staff come out guns ablazing to kill Wax, but the usual bad guy stormtrooper aim happens and Wax kills them all, except for the original waiter who keeps looking at the ceiling. Either he meant to do that to show Wax where the blow is without actually telling him physically, or it was a subtle tell that Wax picked up on and correctly guessed that it's in the ceiling, so shoots up the ceiling. The place turns into prime Charlie Sheen's dream because it starts raining coke. Hallelujah, it's a raining coke. Gives that shit a little taste test and figures that they're 2 people away from the people that cooked the shit. So he tells Reese to empty a vase and collect some of that Colombian sinus sauce while he sends the waiter off with a message to his boss. They quickly run into the car and follow the guy as he runs out the back to his boss. While following him, Reese is like, "What the fuck?" and questions his methods and why they're doing this. Turns out this daughter of an important government guy OD'd on this type of very specific cocaine, and the government guy wants to take down the whole cocaine ring and some shit like that. It's sort of off the books, but not really. Point is, Wax gave him a good enough government-related reason for him to shut the fuck up. They follow the waiter down to this alley. He goes into a building. They park the car, which is now covered in water, although it was previously dry and we didn't see it rain at all on the way. Whatever, Reese finds out that Wax has upgraded his secret compartment in the back of his car with a little bit more firepower, then tells him that he doesn't want to park here because there's some shifty-looking thugs out here that clearly want to cause him some trouble. But Wax is like, "Dude, you just saw me 1v10 a whole fucking restaurant. You really think I'm afraid of a few ching-chong ping-pong fucklets?" And ends up beating the crap out of these cute little Asian boys. By the way, Reese pointed at them with his little pea shooter, which was very visible to them, yet they did not pull out their gun, which I know they had because we just saw it. Not even to like point it back at them at least. Dumbasses. Anyway, they go into the building that waiter went into to look for his boss. Wax goes a bit ahead up the stairs, kills a bunch of guards, and it actually starts raining man this time on Reese while he follows him. Meets him upstairs and they walk into this room where some parents are watching their little girls do some traditional Chinese fucking play dance or whatnot. Pointing the gun to the back of this one guy, Wax tells Reese to translate because he can speak Chinese. He even tells the guy to write down the address of his coke supplier or cooker or whatever, or else he'll do this, that, and the other. Dude writes down the address and they leave, but there's a bunch of guards come in to chase them down into a mannequin factory where a big shootout happens. The usual bad guy retardation occurs. On top of stormtrooper aim, you got people not checking corners and getting shot, reloading out in the open and getting shot. And this clip where peanut butter chocolate flavor slides his gun over to Wax because he ran out of ammo, and he catches it, does a spin-a-rooney, and shoots this guy that already had his gun pointed at him. Bro, you're not actually playing on fucking Asian servers with 1000 ping. This is real life. You can shoot as soon as you see him. Also, I just realized realize this, but how in the fuckity buckety did they know that that Chinese Rantoni dude was the boss? They didn't even see the waiter talk to him. Did they just guess? Whatever. After that, Reese calls his spy boss telling him that Wax is crazy, but he's like, yeah, his methods are a bit unorthodox, but he gets shit done. Now quit whinging. They have some breakfast on the Eiffel Tower where the layout of the table they're on keeps changing between shots. Then Wax forces Reese to take a hit of that booger sugar to like chill out a bit, or maybe help him look like a coke addict for this next bit. But Reese is afraid of ODing like that girl, so Wax is like, wake up, man. The girl's bullshit. It's about taste, bro. Apparently some fucking Pakistani terrorists are using the cocaine job as a front to do bombings and shit. I don't fucking know. But his task is to bring them down. So they go over to that address that Rantoni gave them and ask the Stanny Packy guy for a rental tramp so Wax can rump-a-dump-hump her in a nearby building that has a good vantage points over this shop that they're supposed to spy on and see if any Pakistanis are exiting it. I don't know how Wax knows about that store. Maybe that is the actual location and this is just a whorehouse across the road. I don't know. Point is, they want to spy on that place. On the way up in the elevator, Caroline, Reese's girlfriend, sees him in the elevator with Wax and a hooker and a condom in his hand. She's like, the hell, the door closes. He can't call her because his phone is dead. Wax busts into a room with the best view of that store he wants to spy on, kicks out the occupants of that, tasks Reese with watching that store while he gets a French STD in the bathroom. Reese watches it, charges his phone, calls his girlfriend, and is forced to explain some of his top secret details about his top secret job to her so he can save his relationship. By the way, how does the door of that apartment close properly now after Wax kicked it in? Doesn't that break the striker plate or door handle thing? Doesn't matter. He sees a few packages going in and out of that store. Wax finishes sex and kills some of the pimps trying to beat them up, presumably for kicking another one of the customers out of this room. Then tasks a US satellite to track these two Pakistanis that left the store, and they track them all the way over to the French ghettos, so they follow them there too and go into this hood building asking to score some of their devil's dandruff. While they wait for the dealer to come out, they get robbed of all their jewelry. The dude comes, gives Wax 5 grams. He's like, good shit, I want more. But they refuse and tell him to fuck off because 5 grams is considered personal consumption and is like a minor offense, but anything more can get you jailed. A kilo can get you up to 15 years. So Reese drops the vase full of 5 kilos of coke, which makes everyone scatter. I don't know why. Just kill him and clean up the blow. I see no problem here. Anyway, the journey and usefulness of the coke vase ends here. RIP Ming Dynasty vase that I have on a shirt you can buy from my merch store, by the way. Link in the description. Reese beats up the dealer Wax is holding on to take back his ring. Then they force him to take him up to the apartment right above the Pakistanis, which belongs to a random old guy who serves him tea as Wax spies on the people below, finds out that they are packing up shop to leave, so he rappels down, breaks through the window and starts lighting the place up. Sees that they have the door rigged to blow if anybody tries to open it up, and that they have a hole in the floor with a fireman's pole leading down to the apartment below so that they can escape through that one. So he instructs Reese to go down one more floor and kill anybody coming out of that flat, while he continues killing as many as he can on the inside. Reese sees 2 people leave and a third who's hurt say some jihadist shit, then grab his gun and kill himself because Reese couldn't pull the trigger. Wax finishes killing everybody inside. Reese tells him 2 people got away, so he runs back in and arms one of their motion activated suicide vests and gets the timing just right to drop it out of the window onto the car that they're getting away in to blow them up. Then he sets about collecting as much intel as possible before the cops show up because the French cops cannot know that they are here because it's a secret mission. I don't know why they couldn't cooperate with the French CIA or whatever on this. Maybe because Wax is too crazy with the shoot first ask questions later attitude, or maybe there's too much red tape and it would take too much time that they don't have. I don't know. Anyway, they gather as much intel as they can and find out that Reese's Pieces is actually part of that intel because they have a fuck ton of pictures of him because they clearly been spying on him. They collect some more until the cops show up and they try to escape while the cops try to open that rigged door. Reese tries to save them, but Wax stops him like, they can't know we're here. It's a canon event. Let it happen. The thing blows up. Some of them die. They escape in a cop car, but Reese wants to stop and get shit from his car. Wax tells him it's a bad idea. Reese is insisting to go because they'll find his plates, find his prints, and they'll track him back to the embassy, so he needs to get rid of all that stuff. Wax stops the car and is like, let me get this straight. You want us to stop in the middle of our getaway so you can get your plates and give your car a quick little detail. Are you on medication, bruv? Don't worry, I got you. Then backs up into a bunch of cars bumping into his, which triggers one of those motion activated explosives that the Pakistanis obviously planted on their car. It blows up. Wax is like, it's rigged, dumbass, and then they drive off. By the way, later on we'll find out that they've been tracking them this whole time, and at first I thought they didn't want to kill him because Reese is of importance to them, but now that I see that they've rigged his shitty car to blow, I realize that's not the case, so why didn't they kill him before? Doesn't matter. Wax gives his intel to some trenchcoat dudes in exchange for some burritos. Reese, the wasteful throws his away, telling him maybe he's not cut out for this line of work because he didn't shoot that one guy, he shot himself. Wax tries to cheer him up and tells him that the job's not over until the trenchcoats call them and tell him otherwise, so they got some downtime for this dinner that Caroline invites him to. They show up and there's one extra person there who's Caroline's best friend. Wax tries to raise her up, but then he gets a phone call, talks on it a bit, hangs up, and gets back to the dinner, talking about how him and Reese are secret agent dudes killing terrorists and stuff, saving the world, which is not what he was saying when he first got in here. They have an enjoyable dinner. Wax is making headway with the hot BFF till she gets a phone call from someone asking for Rose. She hangs up saying it's a wrong number, so Wax goes, that's the call we've been waiting for, and blows her fucking brains out. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, she's one of them Pakistani terrorists. They're like, yeah, she's Pakistani, but that doesn't mean that she wants to blow us up. He's like, shut the fuck up, bitch, you're one of them too. Rose was a code word, and if you don't get this part, I don't blame you. I didn't either at first, but don't worry, I'll explain it. I'll also explain why it's kind of hard to understand. Alright, remember the phone call he got before dinner? Well, I'm pretty sure that was from the trenchcoats, telling him they found a bunch of phone numbers and intel he got. So he raised the volume of the music that was playing, so no one could hear him respond, but it also had the effect of having the audience have a hard time hearing what he has to say, which is to call all these numbers back one by one. Call them all back. And Rose is probably a predetermined code word they came up with. Comprende? Wax then goes on to prove that Caroline is also one of them Pakistani terroristas, and she's been spying on him this whole time. He searches around a bit and finds a bug in the lamp that proves that. Tells Luis they've been tracking them this whole time, and the tracker's probably in the ring she gave him. Takes the ring and proves it by putting it close to the radio, and it makes that wow wow interference noise because there's a transmitting device inside the ring. Reese, now thoroughly convinced that she's a bitch, is like, why Caroline? She realizes that the fake tears and bullshit lies won't butter these buns, so she pulls out a hidden gun and shoots him in the arm. Takes a few shots at Wax, who dies for cover, then jumps out of the balcony onto the rooftops to get away. Wax runs after her, both doing parkour over the rooftops, her a bit more graceful than him, until she climbs down and gets away in a green Volvo that picks her up and speeds off. Why'd this dumb bald not shoot her? I'm pretty sure he had at least one good shot at her when she jumped out and he was on top of the balcony. He had a high run as well. Fucking dumbass, whatever. Next morning, back at the apartment, a bunch of his agents come in and find 100 more bugs in that apartment, 20 in the kitchen, 5 in the bathroom, and 1 up Reese's ass. Bro realizes he doesn't know shit about her personal life. She blinded him with tits and ass for all these years, and she calls him, tells him that she never wanted him to get hurt, and explains to him that many years back she found a guy who opened her eyes to his faith and convinced her to do all this stuff. Basically, she got brainwashed by some Islamic extremist jihadist. The phone call ends before they can track her, but they figure out from the background noise that she's on some sort of highway. Then Reese's ambassador boss calls him, telling him off for not greeting the American delegation at the airport that just landed right now to go to some African peace talk summit meeting or whatever that's being held in Paris. Wax puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that they want to hit the American delegation convoy on the highway with that Volvo, so he takes one of those agents to drive over there and stop them on the way, while Reese stays behind because it's not just 2 and 2, it's more like pi and watermelon MC squared. Something's not adding up. So he keeps searching through her shit while Wax finds the green Volvo on the highway and tries to blow it up with a rocket launcher. At that moment, Reese figures out that she's going to attack the African summit, and the Volvo's probably just a diversion. So he calls Wax and tells him to double check that she's in the car before he blows it up, and sure enough, when they get a little bit closer, he sees that there's just a mannequin in the passenger seat. So Reese rushes over to the African summit thing, while Wax continues trying to blow up that Volvo, but can't get a clear shot, so he tells his driver to call the motorcade and warn them so they can divert or something. Agent 47 gets the call and says this to the delegate.
There's intel of a potential threat. They want us to change our course.
It's not a potential threat, Agent Mr. Clean. It's a for sure threat. Why are you downplaying this? Because I'm pretty sure the driver isn't. He sees a suicide bomber driving head on into you. Speaking of that driver, why don't you just ram the Volvo and spin her around? His car's like 10 times faster. Whatever. To prove my point that he could have done that a long time ago, Wax tells him to pass him up and get on a far ahead bridge so he can get a clearer shot on him. So he punches it, easily gaps the Volvo and does that. He gets a shot and connects to the Volvo before it hits the motorcade. Bald head and delegate dumb bitch see this potential threat that she wasn't willing to divert for. Fucking imbeciles. Wax calls Reese, telling him to aim for Caroline's head because she's probably wearing one of those shock activated vests. Reese gets to the summit, but they won't let him in because his ID has already been used by her to get in, and they try to drag him away thinking that he's the potential threat now. But thankfully, the ambassador sees him and stops them and goes over to him, finds out he has a weapon, and he's telling him that his girlfriend is trying to bomb the place and they need to shut the place down. But the ambassador's like, I can't do that on the vague assumption. What the vague assumption? Potential threat. The ambassador was literally just saying this to him.
Are you aware of what happened to the delegation on the freeway?
So you know some crazy shit just happened to the motorcade on the way. Now your assistant shows up armed and bruised. How the fuck is this vague? Did they all just wake up and eat a bowl full of retard this morning or what? Who cares? Whatever. He's like, it's not an assumption, dumbass. So he lets him in to find her without a gun though, and being closely observed by security. He goes looking for her. He's pretty sure she's dressed in an orange veil thing because he saw sketches of it and fabric at home, but there's a fuck ton of people dressed like that. They're probably like themed waiters or staff or something like that. So he takes one of the security's guns and starts yelling around looking for her, recognizes the shoes and guesses that this is her, yells at her to turn around while all the security has guns pointed at him, yelling at him to put the shit down. She turns around slowly. He guessed correctly, it's her. The security is still yelling at him, then she reveals the bomb on her chest and they start aiming at her instead. What a dumb bitch. He was probably a couple, put the gun down, zzz, away from getting shot. If she would have just waited. Anyway, he tries to talk her out of doing this with a little speech about purpose and how he still loves her and that they can fix this, they can get through this and whatnot. Wax shows up to hear the end of the speech and see the bitch try to activate the bomb in spite of it, but Reese pops her in the head first. Wax runs over to catch her falling body so it doesn't detonate the bomb, then defuses it. Mission accomplished, day saved. The US delegate arrives being a little bitch like,
what the hell is going on?
Sure, it's all for your own safety, ma'am.
Always say that when you don't have a clue about what's going on.
is this hoe ass mentally ill or something? Did she not just see that someone literally tried to bomb her on the road and the delay is probably related to something like that? What a fucking dumbass. Anyway, Reese gets Wax a burger and they play a game of chess before he flies back home. This movie gets 69 bald men out of 25 Turkish hair transplants.